What if I told you that the world's most famous diesel engine brand just dropped a gasoline bombshell? No, this isn't some late April Fool's joke. Cummins, the name that's practically synonymous with diesel power, has just flipped the script with their first ever gasoline engine, the B6.7 octane. Imagine a powerhouse that delivers up to 300 horsepower and a staggering 660 pound-feet of torque, all while running on regular 87 octane fuel. That's diesel-like grunt with gasoline simplicity. But here's the kicker. It's EPA 2027 and CARB certified, meaning it's ready to roll in even the toughest regulatory markets like California. So why now? Why gasoline? And what does this mean for diesel's reign? Buckle up, my friends. This could be the start of a game-changing new era in medium-duty trucks and beyond. For nearly a century, Cummins has ruled the diesel engine kingdom like no other. When you hear Cummins, you don't think of a fuel-efficient grocery getter or an eco-friendly town cruiser, right? No, you think of 18-wheelers climbing snowy mountain passes. You think of RVs hauling full-size boats. You think of power. Diesel was their throne, and they wore the crown with pride. But here's the thing. This year, Cummins did something that made jaws drop harder than a thrown piston rod. They announced their first ever gasoline engine. So what gives? Why would Cummins risk it all by diving headfirst into gasoline engines? It sounds almost scandalous, like a rock star swapping guitars for a piano mid-tour. You see, the Cummins B6.7 diesel engine has been the undisputed heavyweight champ of medium-duty trucks for decades. We're talking about a platform that's been refined and redefined since the early 2000s, delivering anywhere from 260 to 325 horsepower and torque figures, pushing 750 pound-feet. That's serious muscle. The B6.7 diesel is known for its durability, fuel efficiency, and the kind of grunt that doesn't quit on the steepest hills or longest hauls. It's the engine you trust when failure isn't an option. For years, it's been the gold standard in vocational trucks, school buses, delivery vans, you name it. Now fast forward to March 4th, 2025. Cummins drops a bombshell in their newsroom, the B6.7 octane, their first ever gasoline-powered engine, built on that legendary B platform DNA, but running on regular 87 octane gasoline. Yes, gasoline. The very fuel that diesel purists love to snub. This engine packs up to 300 horsepower and 660 pound-feet of torque, numbers that rival its diesel cousin. But here's where it gets juicy. It's 10% more fuel efficient than other gasoline engines in its class, requires no diesel exhaust fluid, DF, has no complex after-treatment systems, and boasts an oil change interval stretching to 15,000 miles. Imagine the maintenance savings alone. It's diesel-like performance with gasoline simplicity. This move shocked the industry. Honestly, we didn't expect it. Cummins, the diesel royalty, stepping into gasoline territory. It's like the king swapping his crown for a jester's hat. But look closer. This isn't a betrayal of diesel. It's a strategic pivot, a way to capture new markets, especially in states like California, where emissions rules are tightening faster than ever. The B6.7 octane meets EPA 2027 and CARB-low NOx standards, meaning it's ready to play by the strictest environmental regulations on the planet. No smoke, no fuss, just clean, efficient power. Car and Driver caught wind of this and called it a game changer for medium-duty trucks. The B6.7 octane comes in 4 output levels, offering flexibility for different applications. And without the need for DEF tanks or active regeneration cycles, it's a low-maintenance workhorse. For fleet operators, that's a big deal. Less downtime, lower costs, and more miles on the road. But here's the real kicker. This engine isn't just about specs, it's about what it signals. Cummins is telling the world that diesel isn't the only game in town anymore. They're hedging their bets, embracing fuel diversity, and pushing the envelope on innovation. It's a wake-up call to competitors and customers alike. The future of medium-duty powertrains is more complex and more exciting than we thought. So is this a betrayal of Cummins' diesel legacy, or a smart evolution that keeps them ahead of the curve? The answer isn't simple, but one thing's for sure, the industry's landscape just shifted under our feet. The question now is, how will diesel loyalists respond? Will they adapt or dig in their heels? And can gasoline really deliver the durability and torque we've come to expect from Cummins? Stick around because next up, we're diving deep into the B6.7 octane itself. We'll look at the specs, the tech, and why this engine might just be the gasoline game changer everyone's been waiting for. But before we get too deep into combustion chemistry and torquey curves, let's pause and acknowledge what's happening here. Cummins, a name practically tattooed on every diesel mechanic's heart, just rolled out their first ever gasoline B6.7. And it's not some side hustle or eco-PR stunt. No DF, no complex emissions puzzles, just raw optimized power with a 10% better fuel economy than any of its gasoline competitors. Wild, right? Now here's what you need to know. The B6.7 octane isn't reinventing the wheel. It's refining the game so ruthlessly that competitors might need a therapy session. First up, let's talk numbers. This beast comes in 4 different output levels, with horsepower ranging from 200 to a spicy 300, and torque starting at 600 and climbing all the way to 660 pound-feet. That's borderline diesel territory, my friends. And unlike diesel engines that demand your weekends for emissions maintenance, think DF tanks, DPF regenerations, and SCR headaches, this engine plays a different game. It's all handled with a passive 3-way catalyst. No extra fluids or after-treatment juggling act, just plug and play. Can you even imagine what that does for uptime? For fleets running vocational trucks, delivery rigs, or school buses, that's not just a performance win, it's an operational revolution. Even more impressive, Cummins pulled this off while keeping the engine fully compliant with EPA 2027 and CARB regulations. Let that sink in. We're not talking about some wild prototype or limited market novelty. This engine is certified, tested over 2 million miles, and already being spec'd into real-world workhorses. From vocational haulers to municipal fleets, this thing's not just a concept, it's here now. And while diesel purists might scoff and say, gasoline can't take the heat, Cummins came ready with receipts. Not only does the B6.7 octane deliver up to 10% better fuel economy than other gasoline engines in its class, it also extends oil service intervals to 15,000 miles. That's more time on the road, less time in the shop, and far fewer headaches for fleet managers trying to balance uptime and maintenance costs. Let's break that down. You've got an engine that pumps out 300 horsepower and 660 pound-feet of torque. If that's not wild enough, it runs on standard 87-octane gasoline and requires 0 DEF or after-treatment maintenance. Is that not a steal? On top of that, you're improving your fuel economy by nearly 10%,